Hi. Um, 2 o'clock in the morning, bit unusual for me. Um, oh, I've all got a lot on my mind. Tell me about it. Yeah. Oh dear. I've just adopted a lady in the Philippines, and she didn't do the big come on of, why, let's get married. She mentioned, quote, um, she'd lost her father and mother recently. Well, her mother died in birth and her father's thing. And it was her suggestion, you know. How did she word it? Something like, I'd like a father or need a father or what. Um, so I straight away have jumped in because I've done this with another lady in Thailand. Again, not my actual child. So I've had a bit of flack about that. Yeah, I see. If I right, I said to someone, because this is how I see it, if I slept with a woman, we've been a unit, and although we've parted, she is as good as my wife to me. And if I've also asked these two women in Thailand that I'd like to marry them, because that's quite honourable, I've shared that. You can have 8 wives in Thailand. It's a really good country. They've got a lot of things sus like that. And they do protect the women. So hypothetically, if I went and wanted to get married, which I do, but I mean, they would check me out financially. Can you support 2 wives? I can't quite at the moment, but I think I will soon. And so I've got 2 ladies in Thailand that I consider my wife, 1 goddaughter, who is the daughter of one of the ladies, who I clearly asked her, she could understand, she's, 16, and although she didn't speak brilliant English, her mother acted in and made it very clear, Graham would like to adopt you as your godfather, because obviously she understands I'm not her actual father. And from that day on, I do, I do, that's I don't know her birthday. I did, but I'm still in contact with the mother anyway, and she's gone off, to do her own life because she's of that age. So to bring you right up to date, this has beautifully happened with a lady in the Philippines who's got 3 children, one of them very disabled, apparently deaf. Oh, and she sent me photographs and of the dog, right? I mean, obviously there is wow, what a get a family all in one and with a dog. But no, she has set the mark, you see. She hasn't done the normal come on, because they just marry you for your money, right? No, she did the opposite. She could see she's younger, she's 30, I think, and that she shared she'd like a father. So I've adopted her and the 3 children and the dog, and that's the Philippines. But recently, right, and it's so funny, I think I was being sussed out by the media. Get it? I'm sorry, I'm not psychic. Well, let's share that. When I just phoned up Facebook, I picked up a whole atmosphere of fear and thing, and he even said, "Oh, are you Graham Clark?" sort of thing. I said, "Well, yes, I am." Didn't identify myself, just said, quote, "Could I have a fax number? I wish to fax a document to Mark Zuckerberg." I realised that such a person is busy. I've been all through this. I've said, and that's how I got through to Richard Branson. A lot of paranoia, because I just treat everybody as just everybody. And they get that vibe. I would probably have said, "Can I speak to Mark, please?" "Well, who are you? You don't know Mark. Listen, this big fear." That probably isn't exactly what happened, but oh my God. Remember I did this recent video and some of my guides or new guides had touched into my heart. I'm doing the story about Rex and the film. which is something that really touches my heart. And I'm saying this dog, and they go to Afghanistan, and it gets to the weepy, and this is all based on fact. Check out Rex if you like a really good, weepy, good story, because it is based on truth and it's brilliantly made. And I say that myself, and I love films and I know about films, right? So the scene is, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone might see, but it's basically they've come back from Afghanistan. Rex has blown up, and she was awarded the Purple Heart. So I'm not sure that's, the gist of the story. And then they come back in a dog, and generally, right, a dog handler and the dog, if they want to, the dog's retired and with honours, just as a male soldier is. They even have ceremonies. You see all this in the film. The dogs are retired, and there's all the pump and starts and everything, and rightly so, because that dog is as good as a human soldier. And that's the message of the film, one of them, right? And so the scene is where this thing happened, because it didn't, whatever, where I was crying, basically, and I was struggling to keep it together, okay? And only those that have experienced that, I was touched in my chakra, and the whole, it's what you call an overwhelming anointing, if you know what I'm on about, but you do, a lot of you do. An anointing is where you're touched, and temporary, just everything. Okay, a healing anointing, to describe that. This is a common phenomenon now, although there are some frauds about, and I've moved in this. You bring the ministry, and then especially if it's casting out something of darkness, so you bring the cutting word, which is what one of my ministries I do. I won't do it because I've got neighbours at bloody 2 a.m, right? See, I am in control. It's 2 o'clock in the morning here. So I'm not going to do it very quietly. But you go, leave this person now. And you bring your hand down like that. And they go, boom. Let me tell you, that can be genuine. I've done this in Findorm. Not like that, but a similar experience. That's how I know that it can work different ways. Purely in the spirit, in the cafe, quite crowded, but her friends or guardians, because that's what I say it, were with her. She was obviously, again, going through some kind of psychotic episode, but quite well. She was just in a good space, but a bit overwhelmed. And she just, because I knew I'd been sent there, I've always sent for a reason. That's it. If you've got that heart, I am here to serve, you're always, like Rex the dog, you're always looking. You get the indications, and when you do, you react. It's how I used to be in my hippie days. Yes, I did obviously get involved in the LSD scene, but as a shaman, I saw it, which it was, a sacrament, as Timothy Leary did and various visionary people did. But for a lot of people, okay, we'll go around the circle with marijuana. Let's go and ship it. And many people were having weird experiences because they weren't doing it in the right attitude, and you could see them, they're having a slightly bad trip. They're just a bit stunned. Sort of stunned. That's the word I describe. Sort of all this impact, it's all too much, and whoa. Whereas someone who is able to handle it, you go up and down. Anyone in the tower that's ever taken mescaline, it's beautiful, it's smooth, and it adapts to how you're feeling. So if you need to get it together and make a phone call, that's, I've got to do a phone call. You're having a brilliant time, though, get it? Warm. I've got to go and ride my motorbike. Warm. But that's mescaline and very natural psychedelics. I'm sure Ayahuasca's the same. They have a Davic presence that tunes into your Deva, and they're like communicating, and It's like, Graham needs to drive his car. It might not be, I say this, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's purely a communication. And the whole experience comes down. You're centered, you're grounded, and you can go and drive your car, but more safely than any person on alcohol. I'm having to go now, right? I've got to get this quiet. See my guides on, right? I know for the benefit of this, you've got to demonstrate the enthusiasm, and that's what people can tune into, right? Who do know about these things. Oh, yeah, he's moving in the spirit. Okay? Oh, yeah, joy is an aspect of the spirit. So if I perceive I'm doing this to try and defend other people. The amount of ignorance there is about so-called psychosis and people, or shamans, right? Or people who enter into altered states of consciousness, sensitives, right? Stop. I'm perfectly centered. I'm not on a trip. I'm not spinning off my head, as people have said, oh, he's on a... Stop and talk about the weather if that's what you want me to do. Get it? The ego's not in this. Ego, when it gets into it, is you're actually trying to overpower the person. If you're moving an ego, you're trying to impress them. If you're moving an ego, but if you're moving in spirit, you can be as calm as mustard. Get it? Up and down, but in control. Why I'm teaching on this is because, again, I go in a circle, but I reiterate, the people in Facebook are spaced out. Not that it's just solely me, but that's how I would describe it. As a sensitive, I could pick up because I spoke to two different people. And the second person, totally different person, identified me on just the strength that, oh, I'd like to have a fax number for Mark Zuber, please. No heavy, that's it, right, whoa. Oh, come on. Oh, you don't need it, some sort of bonus, right? There's your tests as well. Ego, right? I'm doing a very important ministry now. How dare you phone me now? That's ego reaction. Huh? And I'm working my way through that, but I see it for what it is. I couldn't care if you talked about the last or the aliens landing tomorrow morning sort of ilk, right? Your job is to be centered. This is me teaching you, but also teaching myself. Your job is to be here now. Okay? Alan Watts. Be here now. Because in reality, that is where you are. But then I can contradict that. You're here and now, but you can be the past and the future. Not centered in it, but it's all one. Past, future, all one. Hence prophecy. You can talk about things that you might sense are going to happen in the future. And if you're very well attuned and together, it can be fairly accurate. And that's one of the gifts attributed to me, prophecy. But in my understanding, that's the mechanics of prophecy. You don't hear a voice in your head and then you relay it back. If you move in prophecy, it is just happening in now. Because that's where everything is, and you should be centered here and now. And when you can learn to function like that, which we can, don't have to worry about being sectioned again. Again, your head. Hypothetically, someone has which has happened to me. Someone has rung up the psychiatric professional here, right, social work, psychiatric department, because they've got paranoid. They've misinterpreted where I'm coming from, right? And then they come banging on your door if you've overstepped the, funny enough, a classic example of people late at night and forget what time it is. So I am being hushed. Yeah, my friend, that happened to my friend. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. She was moving in the spirit and very excited about something, but was together. And I think she had the radio on or something. And really, some people, she got sectioned at a reasonable time. I think it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and she was in the shower, and they were banging on the door. You could sense the ending. What the fuck? Is the house falling down, sort of thing. Margaret. Well, I can say her name because her name's Margaret, right? Just in case you know. And so they're giving out this whole vibe of energy, paranoia, get it? And banging on the door. And so she come out, what the hell's going on? Yeah, hello, what's the problem? Where's the fire, sort of thing, because it's 7 in the morning. Their vibe, you see, was, she's probably a danger to, as soon as it's possible, we need to, arrest her, because that's what sectioning is. I.e., you are forcibly removed from wherever or whatever you may be, curtailed and put into a ward and are there for a month. They can be various lengths of time. Anyone here who knows sexting knows it's there. But you can literally have a month of your life taken away because some, I've got to say, idiot, the politest way to explain someone, has considered that your behaviour wasn't correct and they happen to know you have a history and they just take that person's word. Okay? Don't ring you up to check it out. Hello, Graham. They don't want to freak you out. Says, hi, how are you? I'm quite well, thanks. What? Yeah. A neighbour's complained. I think neighbours complained about your radio. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not actually the radio. Actually, I'm on my computer and I'm doing an exciting call to one of my friends. And because of the time difference, this is the most appropriate time to contact them. Oh, that's all right then. Could you just maybe temper it? Because they, were a bit concerned. Thanks a lot, and go. Because a good psychiatric nurse can suss that. Any idiot can suss it if someone is really off on cloud cuckoo land. But when the person explains, well, I am doing a call, I have some music playing, my business just to keep you company in a sense, and it's someone in another country, and the best time I can get them because of the time difference is whatever, like now, 3 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, I will, and you will adapt your things. I'll wear headphones down. It's just a growing curve. And like now, I draw up to the computer because the microphone, and I don't have to speak, perhaps as I'm doing it now, temping it down there, as loud as what I perhaps am, even though I am excited, not to temper it. So I'm okay with what's happened with Facebook, but again, it makes me a bit concerned, the same analogy. I didn't speak to Mark Zuckerberg, which I feel under the circumstances, I don't know what you feel, I'm at least entitled to that. Go to the top and even do a small apology. I'm very sorry, Mr. Clark, what's happened. Think it through. I'm very sorry that someone used my facility and sent you a fraudulent certificate purporting that you'd won or been awarded £500,000. And yes, it did have my name on it as well. See, I just do that and I turn things around. Well, how would I respond if that happened to me. That I was Mark Zuckerberg. It was my company, and someone through my company, whether it was hacked or what, because that's not clear to me, but that's what I was told, that my account had been hacked as well as his or Facebook's, shall we say. But I feel that I would want to offer that person an apology. Quick phone call. Imagine how much that's going to settle that person's mind and resolve it. Because the way the staff handled it was just, again, that's what I'm sharing now, just rubbish. There was no apology for them. It's just, oh, yeah, your account was hacked. And no, you haven't. That's it. No, you haven't been awarded 500,000. So that's not an apology, is it? So, Mark, I do feel I'm due an apology. But on a positive light, because our lives have been brought together, and because I am trying to put a charity together that anyone with any intelligence can see this has immense potential for the relief of suffering, that it is a brilliant idea, because perhaps I am a genius. But it happens through prayer. You get me? The theatre of unemployment, or is now called the Black Unicorn, was channeled, yes, but in an answer to prayer. So the instigation, if you like, of bringing that down was me. Funny enough, it ties in with Alexa. You see this? I was in tears. I just watched this program about Ethiopia and was shown all these starving people. And the thing that really touched me was that there was this wall, right? So the people, that's how I even did a channeling about noble people of Ethiopia. You bear the karma, I've lost it a bit, of us all. That was the gist of it, but it's more beautiful. It's basically saying that they were noble. Why? Because this little wall, which anyone could jump over, was that those people that are going to get fed, and the rest not. No fighting, although you could over it. No, but you know what I mean? Nobility. That's how I saw it. And that really touched my heart. And so in response to that, I then did, through the tearful reaction, put a prayer up, what can we do, Blessed Father God? What can we do? And the response was the Theatre of Unemployment, which is a channeled document, which is a charitable, acceptable document, meaning it's already been to the Charity Commission and been processed many years ago. Whew, blew me away. The new document that I've shared and just done the video about, called Black Unicorn, which is the second version of it. It's the same thing, but the title was changed. That was done 8 years ago. But the Theatre of Unemployment, but the Theatre of Unemployment was given birth just at the time of the Ethiopian crisis. And those of you who are hot on history and what, you can put exact date to it. Yeah, it was the time that this is being blasted on our TV screens. Yeah. And that's how long you can good training for me. He is despised, or I won't get that, but he is certainly rejected. And I've been on that path, because all you're meant to follow on that path is to ask and ask again. Not force, not demand. That's ego. Ask, and you shall receive. But you might have to spend a lot of time asking. So, I'll just double check. Mary, yes, I got a nice thumbs up. She's been involved a bit in this process, because I did politely contact her, and I thought, just in the spirit, she might know Mark, because her reaction was, well, maybe Mary ought to explain that. Her reaction was, when I got this certificate, oh, that's ridiculous, but no, that's disgusting. And I interpreted that as that she understood that, this is wrong and someone had fraudulently sent me this. And yeah, that isn't a nice thing to do. But this isn't getting at Mark in the context. There's no way anyone's accusing Mark of doing it, because again, that's how things get started. But I go round, I feel Mark does owe me a wee bit of an apology. And I think, if you like, for the incident, he'd make a perfect person to put his name, that's all, to be a trustee or whatever, because there's various things in the setting up of a charity. Once he's seen it, but I assure you when he does, and that would be a brilliant positive resolution of it, karmically. Because that would, just something like that would absolutely give it the attention it needs. The media would have to, that's my publicity, see, of what's happening or what's trying to take place. They could get all into, it's been set up, because the whole thing about I sent the 500,000 thing, and yet it wasn't, but that's what brought us together. And then from that, I sent, that's going to be happening, sent Mark a fax of the outline of the theatre of unemployment. But of course, needless to say, that's why I'm doing these movies. The last two movies are all about it. I read the whole thing out. So all Mark has got to do is just watch a movie on Facebook. See what I've read out. As you guys know, I've read the whole thing out. I've now made a public appeal. Please can you help me just act as an office bearer? So you just put your name to it. You do mean you have to attend a meetings every now and then, but you're like I'm giving you, you're like a patron. You're that ilk, a patron. So you don't have to get involved in the physical running and thing, because that is going to be a lot of work, but you're a patron. And from that, the media will get on board and give it the publicity it needs to attract the people to start it. And I'm sure everybody here that sees this, I can't decline, would agree. Yeah, you don't need a degree in psychology, I'm being humorous there, to suss that. Well, yeah, what a lovely, it's like the movie Rex, happy ending, would bring tears to people's eyes. So initially, our friendship started on a bit of a negative footing, in the context that someone had abused his company, and also he felt perhaps guilty that, this guy's had this thing sent him and it was nonsense. So he's obviously morally obliged. And that might be his response of why he hasn't immediately wanted to speak to me. But this is the staff. Very negative, really, negative, fearful response. Oh yeah, one just hung up as soon as he recognised the voice. That is it. So imagine how that was interpreted. Just hung up, clunk. But then I phoned again and got a different person. He did recognise me. He did just said, "Oh, is that G.Clark?" Yeah. But I got in. Well, look, all I'm wanting, I'd love to speak to Mark, I said, and could you pass that on? And he said, yeah, I'll do that, sort of thing. But then I said, but can you let me have a fax number so I can send a document to him, which I'd like him to look at? But I go round the circle. That document is just the outline of Black Unicorn, which is on one of his movies, on his thing. It's been sent there. It's then uploaded to YouTube. Whatever. So I'm fairly hopeful, but I've been doing this for probably 18 years. I am used to being rejected. So that could develop a bit of negativity in me. I'm not very impressed with men. No, I'll share this, but think it through, right? I joined a men's group when it was all the thing and it's happening, you know. Men had these, group sessions, you know, you met with other men and, I didn't find out what they do till I got there. But the gist of the first exercise was, right, I want you all to consider and think about a man who you really look up to. But it can't be Jesus. I remember that particularly. Oh, no, it's not, because you can just say, Buddha or thing. No, this is, a man, someone actually, right, as we conceive men, right? And I was there. And like you see all the experiences I've had in life, I've met and done and tried many things and have experienced immense rejection and even despisement, as Handel describes. Handel must have been, he is accredited a genius. His lyrics are, he was despised and rejected of men. He was a man of constant sorrow. Well, I can relate to that. Having a diagnosis of manic depression, I do know what it's like to be right down in the pits, to be going through the dark night of the soul. Part of that I've analysed is that you blame yourself. What something has really negative happened to you, right? It goes through and then you get into a space where you sort of, Graham, so it's like, what the fuck have you done now? Right? Because part of the New Age teaching at the time, which I think is a bit distorted now, is you create your own reality. But I think when you start moving into that phase of you give yourself a hard time because you feel that you've created this bad situation. I'm talking about now, this negative thing that's happened, it's either karmic retribution or whatever. Yes and no. Yeah. Part of your learning is to discern spirits. Discern, that means there are spirits who are not quite in tune with the light. Whether you call them demons or what, they're called demons in the Bible, but whatever. Spirits of darkness. And they have some reign. That means freedom to interfere with you. So there's your thing of why we're encouraged to pray, to bring in your protectors, invite St. Michael to draw close, invite your guides and helpers to draw close. This is what we're entreated to do. But if we let our guard down, these spiritual helpers that are with us, but they're limited unless you ask them. It's the golden rule. Ask, you shall receive. It's a discipline, but I do it all the time with a pendulum. Every time I consult the pendulum, blessed St. Michael, draw close, thank you, blessed guides and helpers, draw close. And that is to help me make, I've got one here, I've always got it here actually, a decision. Right? Some teachers, these are about the best technological divination, that's a word, device you can get. Better than tarot cards, you see, because it's just direct response. Not all the thing of shuffling the cards and laying them in the pattern and then interpret them. This is there, and in the shake of a horse's tail, I keep getting the vibe out. Oh, Graham, you're getting excited. You can get a response to an urgent thing that's burning on you. And because you can very often get indecisive, that's what it means. You're not sure it's yes and you're not sure it's no. And that can fuddle. You're thinking, of course it can. So you can do a quick reading because it gives you a yes or a no response, which is all you're looking for. I mean, mine, I can say, but I'm trying to do this so you can see the pendulum. So it's a bit awkward. That's it, and that's how I generally do it. I hold it over my hand. Get it? Blessed Michael, please draw close. Blessed guides and helpers, please draw close. Will Mark Zuckerberg respond to my request to phone me, please? No, nothing. Not a yes or a no. And that either tells you, hold on, that's the wrong question, or maybe you shouldn't be doing this in front of an audience, because maybe there might be a little bit of ego in there of trying to impress people. But this is just me. It's not magic. It's a scientifically approved and known technique for you to contact that higher aspect of you. There's no magic, it's just that. This is done with a thing which I first witnessed in Vindor when I first went there, which is very common knowledge now, where it's different, but going on tap. I'm just saying it's that sort of level. So you can put any substance on your tongue, right? And what that does is the tongue is sending an immediate message to your brain, and your inbuilt intelligence can give you a response to tell you if that substance is good or bad for you. And very dynamic it is. And what you do, there's two of you, but the classic example is you get a big macho man and a woman, because you're told to resist. Right? You put your arm out like that. You've got this substance on your tongue. Then the person leading this presentation will say, now I want you to resist. That means you tense and think. But if it's wrong and not good for you, your body loses strength instantly. And the little girl or woman will be like, push the arm down. And needless to say the opposite, because obviously you must give both the person washes his tongue and puts something that's known to be good for you. Right? And you can resist. Kinetics, I think it's called. It has got a technical term, but anyone who might want to follow that through. Another thing, muscle testing, but that's what you're doing is you can get these things that I couldn't get on with them, where you squeeze this thing, like a thing, and of course, if you lose strength, you won't be able to squeeze it. And then if you gain your strength, because it's a positive reaction, you can squeeze the thing right in, no trouble. But I couldn't get on with it. In fact, I've got one on my altar, but I ain't going to get it. But this technology and these things are available to us. And I personally, so I've done tarot cards, I've got quite a few divination cards, but I'm really repeating that is quite a process. It's all right if you're having a session like I Ching, similar thing. I Ching will give you a very detailed reading about what's happening in your life and what could be possibly going to happen in the future, which is good. But if you just need a yes and a no response, obviously that is not really the relevant means to use, but a pendulum is. And it's very easy to get attuned to because that's how you do. You ask the pendulum a question which you know the answer, right? Am I a man? And it'll give you a response which represents yes. With mine, it spins clockwise. Am I a woman? It would spin anti-clockwise, a no response. And you generally, with me, a side to side. So it's neither yes nor no, but it didn't do that with the question I asked about Mike. It did just seem to be still not a response. And we could analyse that many reasons. Well, it's not really right to do that in front of people. It's something you should just do privately. But I do really believe in transparency. But if that's how the pendulum is responding, then, well, you see, I just leave it alone and move on. We're 49 minutes. I generally do these for about an hour. We're just coming up to 3 o'clock here, but I am, as you see, calling a bit. So I'm hoping that when it gets daylight, I can send, I shouldn't really have to, but anyway, the outline via a fax. It's got to be scanned and then hopefully I get a definite response, hopefully, and that Mark does decide to try and help get, Black Unicorn off the ground. And that will be Wolf. You can see what I've just told you. For 18 years, I've been trying to get to that place of getting a committee together, of getting someone that's got the clout to just act as a patron, which would give it the publicity value to the media, because it needs publicity, doesn't it? It's obvious. Many people need to know that this is trying to take birth, and then there's a higher chance that the right people will be drawn to do that. Say my previous attempts, it has just fallen on, like casting the seed. You're casting out a seed, but it's fallen on fallow ground. Maybe said that wrong, but ground that isn't going to produce fruit. So that's where I'm at. Well, there's some comments I'll just go through. Vibe, I just think are just saying, yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's it. Mary Crown, big thumb up. Yeah. And that's it. So, I think I've said enough about Black Unicorn and what's hopefully going to take place later on, and that I will get hopefully some positive kind of response. I've got no other, I have done that, see, already. I've already dropped a calling card in the local BBC, and that is just a clip, a link to one of my videos, right? And I've done 2 BBCs. One I think was radio, but they're both Scotland, and the other one was ITN, which could have been a national, not just a Scottish office. The logic being that if someone wanted to come and interview me or check it out, they would need to be in Scotland. And so that's why I targeted BBC Scotland. I've been to BBC Scotland. It's not far away. I think it's 30 miles away in Inverness. And I'm a pensioner and I can get a bus there for free. So it's very feasible and okay to do. I could try that, but if anyone has anything they want to ask, now you go through the comment box and any sort of feedback or anything you want to ask, well, keep that. Well, Graham, you talk about this or that, what do you mean? Or you want something re-explaining that I've said and you're not quite sure what I was saying. Please do. It had just come through from the comment box. That's it. You can only do this, I believe, if you have a computer. You might be able to do it on an iPad, but if you have just got a small little mobile phone, you won't have this feature. I wouldn't have thought. I think you just have a screen and you can see this, but there's no way for you to input what's called here, see, write a comment. Yeah. Well, some people have. There's 2 or 3. Yeah, I've got 5 people. No, 3 comments. So 3 people can actually input a comment. Yeah. I've had Mary Crown. She's done a thumbs up, which is an icon to say she likes it. Nice. So that's just feedback, again. And nice, dear. And that's it. Yeah. But it'll happen. It'll come. And obviously it's better for me. Although I've got a lot of things to say, it's nice to just temper it down with what you call like feedback. And the person's talking about a very, to them, practical or urgent problem. This lady in the Philippines, how we met was on that level. She said, hi. She was very apologetic. Sorry to disturb you. In really broken English, please. And even said, I hope you not get angry. So I encouraged and said, no, come on. Yeah. What, And then she said, I can't know exactly how she said it, but yeah. Anyway, but the thing was, it wasn't the normal way of come on. The normal way of come on is just someone immediately starts going about they love you and saying, can we have a relationship? And basically, did or say it, the woman's just going to use sex as an excuse to, milk you of whatever money you may have, if that's the actual motive. So it really is what we'd say a come on thing. Oh, hello here, and they use all these things. How are you, dear? Okay, I've never met, and they're calling me dear straight away and all this. And then eventually, but what generally does it with me is because I suss where they are. So you don't want to hurt their feelings, but you say, well, this has no future. You're in Africa, I'm here in Scotland. I'm not a big jet-setty person who can just pop over to Scotland or, Africa, you know what I mean, jet hoppy, which some people can. But I'm not in that ilk, and I don't think I want to do that because this one of these things went through a detailed thing. I told her I've got 3 wives, which is a slight thing, and 5 children, right? So clearly meaning I was in, because I am with 2 of them, potential relationship. But still she insists, thing. And that's how I got through that one. I said, well, yeah, no, she's saying, yes, you are beautiful. I'm not going to try and say you're not. It's not a practical proposition, I think. Meaning when I like to fly to Africa or wherever it was for us to have a night of, incestuous love or whatever, well, no, I wouldn't. I haven't got the money, but I would think that's a very waste of money. And there would be other issues, I've got 2 ladies and, they are bona fide women that want to be married to me. It's as simple as that, propose marriage to them. That's a different ilk to someone you're just meeting and they're saying, well, can we have some kind of sexual experience together? Totally different ballgame, isn't it? Not sort of saying, well, I do like you. Can we get to know each other better? Can I speak to you on the video phone where you can have a decent chat and in 20 minutes learn a hell of a lot more than you are by just texting? I'm having a go again, you see. This isn't to you. It is to women that do this. And you can see through it. If someone generally likes you, they would be prepared to obviously have a video chat with you. And if they don't, and they get all cagey, and another issue I've noticed, that could be an open opportunity for scam, but I'm being protected. Can I have your phone number? No, can you contact me through this email address? So they're dragging you out of the protection of Facebook because it records all when you're doing Messenger, it's all recorded, isn't it? So you've got some evidence that they said this or they said that if they'd lied to you. But if you just go straight into their email. I think you've got, yeah, I think you might have some recording of your side of it. No, I'm talking rubbish. Yeah, they'd have your email address, the sooner it could happen, and so you would have that. But well, that's it. I don't know why people. Then why? It's quite a common question. Are you on WhatsApp? Which is a very popular thing, and it's free thing. And as far as I can see, if you're on Messenger, you've got all the facilities you need. You can video call people for free. That could be a restriction, but see, I'm going doing it now. Well, they wouldn't be able to contact me in the first place. You know, I mean, it doesn't compute. But WhatsApp does appear to be a very popular means of, doing this chatting. Well, it isn't doing this because this is one way at the moment, but I still have that option through Messenger to enter into a video one-to-one chat. Well, I am. It's 51 minutes. Thanks to those. I mean, for me, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And I still think I'll probably need to get up at 6 because that's been my regular pattern. As soon as the dawn comes, and there are lots of people that know that that's my regular time. So I should just have about 3 years. 3 years. Do I wish? 3 hours sleep and get up and do another one, but I can go to bed. I mean, that's the beauty of being retired. I can, stay up all night occasionally and go to bed during the day or the afternoon because I don't work. Well, I do, doing this, but this is very, very flexible. So goodbye and good night. Well, for me, it's good morning. Like I say, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, Saturday. Have a brilliant weekend. Yeah.